My name's Zio, and we've got us a headline to unpack here. And who'd have thunk it's not total filler. Our main hero is under the weather, so our girl Yui Hasegawa is filling in for him this month. The fun begins on November 1st. Tell me, do you love Rotimo North like Kel Mitchell loves orange soda? Is it true? You do. 90s kids will totally get that reference. Well, guess what? It's back with a high rank and a new boss. And might I say this one looks pretty mean. The Halloween event rolls on with new goodies in the shop, of course. You remember the giant mutants Garango Geo and Wallon Geo, right? Well, on November 8th, they're making a comeback in North and South Rotem. They'll be appearing alongside high-level dread enemies in those areas. On November 15th, Darkfall Solus is getting an 8-man UQ version that's not as tough as the 4-man. This is being called Omen of the Planet Breaker. Now, a lot of us have wondered whether or not they were going to do this, but here we are. They also showed off the new 10-star Flugelguard series coming off of Sign of the Planet Breaker and Mining Rig Rotem Rank 3. This gives a buff to you and your party members whenever you crack off a Photon Blast. Yo, I heard you liked Unobtainium. Hey, remember Green Hill Sprint, that one LTQ people really enjoyed over the summer? Well, guess what? It's back. But this time enemy levels and Chaos Emerald positions have been tweaked. This one was a lot of fun, and I'm glad to see it back in some form. So we're also getting new weapon presets. Now these can drop either here in the Sonic LTQ or the 2 Planet Breaker quests. Hey, come here a sec. Great. This again? Yep. Now get your ass over here. A little bit closer. Perfect. It seems you're capable of making quests people enjoy, but limited time only. Why not make something like that permanent and spammable? No more FOMO arigato. Sure, have your limited quests, but take elements from the ones that people enjoy and rework them into permanent content. Okay, with that little ASMR whispering segment out of the way, so you know that floating island, right? Well, on November 22nd, we're finally going there. So what awaits us up there? Well, level 82 dread enemies, plus a meaner Halvaldi dubbed Halvaldi Vera. So just what kind of fat loots can we expect here? Well, there's the new 10-star Flugelguard, and there's also the new 9-star Melik weapon series. Okay, not necessarily new, as these are just reused relics. Relic, Melik, yeah, I see what you did there, SEGA. They'll have different potentials like their 5-star counterparts, but the caveat is you can't multi-weapon a Melik with a relic. Now you can acquire these beauties by farming dread scales off the level 80 plus dread enemies on the floating island. We close out the month of November with the new 12-man limited quest, Drill, Cave Cleanup Operation. Now this will have us playing truck duty again in Lower Maquad. The rewards here will include the 9-star Melik and Tisa weapons in addition to the 10-star Flugelguard weapons. Now for everyone's favorite part, the Operation Report. They've been getting a lot of requests to make it so that non-officers can have editing privileges for Alliance spaces. Don't worry, they're adding that in the future. When placing build parts, can you make it easier to understand their position? They're adding an option for a visual guide showing the top, bottom, left, and right. Alliance mag buffs level down too quickly. SEGA, please fix. They're fixing it. To be more specific, they're making it so the mag buffs level down weekly as opposed to daily. I feel there's a high hurdle for equipment enhancement because weapons rarely drop and there are not enough enhancement materials. Are there any plans to make this easier? They're planning on increasing the drop rates for those hard to get weapons as time goes on and more content is released. They're also thinking of increasing the availability of enhanced weapons and armor outside of seasonal exchange shops. People are having a hard time finding replacements for the seasonal augment on their seasonal weapons once that event's over. They plan to add augments that affect non-seasonal enemies as well. Any plans to add new fields or the like in the future? They said yes. They're cooking. They couldn't say much else, and it's gonna be a while. Now we have a couple of campaigns going on as well. Part 3 of Special Class Training centers around Braver, Bouncer, Waker, and Slayer. You get some nice goodies for finishing the associated limited time tasks. There's also a nice boost event going on this month. During this event, there's a 50% boost to grade enhancement success. Meseta prices for limit breaks are also half off. There are also added drops for gold Prim 2s as well as both arms refiners from bosses in Alio and Stia combat zones. There's also a 100% rare drop campaign going on here. So NGS official creators are also getting build parts based on what level emblem they have. I'm curious about one thing though. If someone got up to a certain level but ended up being dropped at some point, I wonder if they'll get any of these. Probably not. I guess this is their version of the YouTube play button. Next headline is November 28th, where we learn what's on deck for December. Not gonna lie, this looks pretty jam-packed. Now, I know some of you are gonna say, all that aside, this all looks really promising. So people who have never fought, let alone beaten Darkfall Solace, are getting their chance at that fight. On top of that, there's also farmable, meaningful content coming down the pike. Speaking of Solace, I have to wonder if this is going to have any story implications since we are fighting it in an urgent quest. Maybe that's something we do in December, but at the same time, we have yet to have the Starless roll up in Kavaris or Stia. Who knows? So what are you looking forward to the most? You know how much I love chopping it up with you guys in the comments section and on the streams. Come on by and hang out sometime, we'd love to have you. And if you're on Ship 1, I have these bang-in parties at my creative space on the first and third Saturday of each month. Speaking of which, that's this Saturday. A little thing I like to call Saturday Night Fantasy. Good place to hang out and meet people. Who knows, you might even meet your future husband or wife there. So anyway, that's gonna do it. I hope you have a blessed day. And remember, to thine own self be true. Until next time, farewell.